Música relevante.
Hey y'all, welcome back. This is Cooking with Cream, episode 5. For those of y'all that don't know, I'm Chef Cream, straight out of Brooklyn. Before we get started with anything, make sure you press that notification button, that subscribe button, like, comment, retweet, repost, all of this fly shit. Go back, watch all the other episodes. We lit, pull up. It's time for Cooking with Cream. Hey y'all, welcome back. This is the Rasta Pasta episode. We're gonna do a jerk chicken, jerk shrimp, plantain, all that fly shit, Rasta Pasta. Shout out to this week's winner who helped me actually come up with the sauce that we're gonna be launching. Charles Westerhouse IV at Soul on Ice. His at name will be somewhere on the screen. Follow him, he's single and he fine. Anyway, like I said, we got our shrimp, we got our chicken, we got sweet plantain, we got the Rasta Pasta coloring, peppers going on, green, red, yellow, a little bit of lime, scallion, thyme, Parmesan cheese, crushed garlic, sofrito, acelgas. We got our penne pasta, coconut milk, a little cream, our jerk seasonings, a little seafood seasoning since we got the shrimp going on, a little lime. Let's get into it. First thing we're gonna start off with is we're gonna season and marinate our shrimp and our chicken. Okay, so I placed our shrimp in a bowl. We got some good, nice, colossal shrimp here. These is 8 by 16 a pound. Organic chicken breast here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this chicken breast and I'm gonna cut it in half so that when we grill it, it has an easier and faster cooking time. So what you wanna do is just hold down the chicken and just go across. So we're going right down the middle, right across the middle. Then you're gonna have you 2 little cutlets. Now you could go ahead in the store and buy you some thin cut cutlets, but you're gonna be paying literally triple the price because they're gonna cut the fucking chicken for you. Go home and cut the chicken. Look at that. So that's a lot better. I'm gonna put that in a bowl. Just 1, 2, boom. I need a lime. We're gonna season the shrimp and the chicken pretty much the same way. The only thing I'm not gonna do is add lime to our shrimp initially, because lime starts to cook your shrimp. So what's gonna happen is if I add that lime in there, it's gonna start the cooking. You're gonna have some soggy ass shrimp, and they're gonna be gummy. So yeah, you can add lime if you cleaning your shrimp, but make sure you wash it all the way off. Anyway, boom. So I'm gonna go ahead, cut me some lime. All right, so we're gonna squeeze the lime juice, about a half a lime, onto this chicken. All right. Now listen, I'm cooking in my damn house. It's gonna be a little bit of cross-contamination. If you cooking for people, and when I cook for people, trust me, it's different gloves, different settings, but I'm about to eat this shit when we done, so don't get crazy. All right. Boom. We got our lime juice in here. We're gonna add a little bit of dry jerk seasoning to both. A little bit of avocado oil. Avocado oil has a higher smoking point, so when you grill this, it's not gonna burn the oil as like a milder olive oil would. And that's gonna get it to not stick to our grill pan when we do put that on. A little bit of the sofrito on both. Not too much. A little bit of that wet jerk seasoning on both. Add more, the spicier you want it. I don't like it too spicy, so here's that. Alright, that's just enough. Boom. Then you're gonna mix that on through. If you want, you can add a little bit of thyme to it, just to add while it's marinating. I'm gonna add some of this pimento seed, allspice seed, right up in there. You know I'll put this shit on everything. Chicken bouillon, why the fuck not? And then for the shrimp, just for the shrimp, I'm gonna add some of the seafood seasoning. So this is lemon pepper, Old Bay, Cajun mixed together. Right. Then you go ahead and mix. So look, I'm gonna mix with one hand in this one, and I'm gonna mix with the other hand in this one. And if you see it's not seasoned enough, add some of that dry and a little bit more of the wet, whatever you wanna do. Right? And then we're gonna put this in the fridge and let it marinate until we're ready to grill it. Ideally, if you could let this marinate overnight, that would be great. If you can marinate for a couple hours, that's the best. If you want to just go ahead and put your seasoning on and then grill it, do what you want to do. But we're not going to do that right now. Like I said, I'm going to get this time to marinate. Because we are using chicken breast, you don't necessarily have to do it overnight. More the bigger pieces when you traditionally make jerk chicken, I would suggest that being overnight, so that way it'd be a nice smoky and all that when it's ready to go. Boom, I'm gonna go ahead and place these in the fridge. We're gonna get started on our vegetables. All right, so we're gonna get started on slicing up our peppers. Like I said, I got a green one, yellow one, red one. Google the Rastafarian flag. Those are the traditional colors of the Rastafarian flag. We make it Rasta pasta, so that it is what it is. All right, boom, I'm gonna cut off one end. I think I showed y'all this a bunch of times. Cut off one end, cut off the other. Slice that bitch down. And we're gonna take out, these is called ribs and the seeds. We're gonna take that out. You can scoop it out with your hand. You can go ahead, I know a lot of home cooks, they do it like that. We can go ahead and do this. Run your knife along it. And then you're gonna cut off all of that. You don't wanna eat that. You don't want that in your food, okay? Boom. Same thing with this. Run my knife on it as much as I can. If you need to get a smaller knife to do it because you're not too handy with a chef knife, that's fine. Get you a paring knife. Scoop that bitch out because it ain't gonna taste good in your dish. Just gonna do some nice slices. So like a 1/4 inch thick. All right, we have our peppers all cut up. What I'm gonna do is take half of these scallions here, and with the back of my knife, I'm kind of gonna do that, and that's gonna start the juices to activate. These is not the ones we're gonna garnish with. These are gonna be the ones that we add into our pot. So you can kind of rough chop these as big as you want. And these is just gonna be added into our pot when we get to cooking. Okay. Boom. We got a little bit of thyme. We're gonna throw that in there as well. I'm gonna take that out at the end, so I don't need to peel none of the things off. That's totally fine. Who gives a fuck? Throw it in the sauce, like I said. We're gonna get into it. All right, so I got a pot of water here. We're gonna go ahead and salt that. Make sure you salt it with enough salt. That shit should taste like seawater, of course. I don't know why I paused that. Anyway, we're gonna add a little bit of oil in here, so that way the pasta doesn't stick together when we place it in. Here, I got our pan heating. I'm also gonna add a little bit of the avocado oil to that. All right, not too much because you don't want. We're gonna cook our sauce in this pan as well, so we don't want it to be an oily sauce, but just enough because this is where we're gonna cook our vegetables. So our oil is nice and hot. We're gonna add our peppers in here, our scallions, and our thyme. If you want, you can add you a little bit of onion. That works as well, but scallion is technically green onions. We're also gonna put a little bit of crushed garlic in here. All right, we'll put a little bit of the sofrito in here. A little bit of the wet jerk seasoning. The more jerk seasoning you put in there, the spicier it's gonna be, so that's up to you. A little bit of the whole pimento. And a little bit of tomato paste. Now, I see a lot of motherfuckers who make Rasta pasta sauce, they don't make it from scratch. They use the powdered Rosa mix or some shit like that sauce. We're not doing that. This is how you make it 100% from scratch. We ain't doing none of that bullshit over here, okay? Alright, so what I'm gonna do is sweat out my peppers, sweat out and cook out that tomato paste and the rest of the seasonings. Okay, let these peppers cook down, get them nice and soft. And actually our water is now boiling, so I'm just use a whole pack of this. If you follow this recipe, this should give you about 8-9 servings, to be honest with you. 6 servings if you in a, you know, West Indian black family. Go get that in the boiling water and let that cook for about 10 to 12 minutes. Y'all know I always tell y'all, if y'all can find fresh pasta, use that shit because it fucking takes only 2 to 3 minutes for the fresh pasta to cook through, and you can taste the difference in the fresh pasta. But if not, that's absolutely fine. So by sauteing our seasonings and our peppers, we basically bringing out all them flavors starting to cook through before we add our liquids in. If you want to, you could also go ahead and add a fresh Scott bonnet pepper to this. Okay, so what makes Rasta pasta sauce different from obviously traditional Alfredo sauce is we use coconut milk in addition to our cream and in addition to the jerk seasonings, obviously. So my rule of thumb is this: I use half coconut milk opposed to what I use in the cream, because coconut milk is so thin that it won't thicken up our sauce when we add the cheeses in. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the cream. Okay, go ahead and start with the cream. I'm gonna add in some of this coconut milk. Now this is organic, no extra flavor coconut milk, okay? I'm not gonna add too much because what I wanna do is I wanna gauge how much more liquid I need once I start adding in my cheeses. All right, so right now we're just gonna let this come up to a simmer, start adding in our cheeses, and we're gonna go back and forth with it. Add a little bit more liquid, add a little bit more cheese, until we get it the right consistency for us, all right? So I'm gonna let that come up to a simmer, check on our pasta here. All right, it's still a little bit stiff. So we're gonna go ahead and mix that through so nothing sticks together. And we wait. Okay, so our liquid has come up to a light simmer. We're gonna go ahead and start adding this cheese in. So I got some nice freshly grated palm. Now don't go ahead and just put mad glops of cheese in there, because what's going to do is it's going to stick together and it's not going to melt through. So what I'm doing is adding a little bit, let it melt down, and then go ahead and add it some more. It's not a quick sauce. This is not an instant sauce. None of that shit. This is a sauce that's going to make your family happy, make you happy, whoever eating it. It's going to fill up your belly. That palm is through. Now we're gonna go ahead with the mozzarella. Whole milk, not no skim milk, mozzarella. Add that in there. Mix that through. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if you don't let that liquid come up and be warm, number one, your cheese is not gonna melt. Number two, it's gonna stick to the peppers and it's gonna look nasty. It's gonna look like your peppers got a spider web on it. That's not what you want to do. Believe me. The sauce is thickening up nice. Thickening up nice. Like I said, we can add a little bit more coconut milk. We can add a little bit more cream. Go ahead. A little bit more Parmesan. And you gauge as much cheese that you want to use. I like it very cheesy. Some people may not. Now, if you see that your sauce is starting to stick to the bottom, that's when you go ahead and definitely add a little bit more liquid in, because don't nobody want no burnt sauce. Go ahead and some of this coconut milk. Oh man. Sauce is looking crazy. Smell good. While that is still simmering, I'm gonna check up on this pasta. Looks like it's soft, ready to come together. Firstly, you'll start to see the corners start to get white. You can also take your little wipe. That's good. And it's nice and soapy. That soap from the water got into the pasta, flavored it. Crazy. So I can go ahead now and actually turn this burner off. And I can turn this burner off because our sauce is done. We're gonna mix it together. And then we're gonna get working on our proteins. Remember, we still got that shrimp, we still got that chicken that we need to grill, and we got those plantains we need to fry. Just want a little more because I'm extra. Stir that in, and I'm gonna put the pasta. I'm gonna transfer the pasta directly from the pot into the sauce. Now, if your sauce is a little thin too, that pasta water is gonna bring it together. Also, add a little bit of a salt element to it. Now, if you want, depends on your preference. A lot of people from the islands, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm from an island. We don't care about seeing thyme and scallion and all that kind of stuff in our food, but you can take that out. You can also take the seeds out to make it a little bit more palatable for whatever guests that you may have. I'm gonna go ahead and, like I said, transfer this pasta directly into our sauce. So we have our pasta in our sauce. I'm gonna go ahead and mix that together. We're gonna mix that together and we're gonna set it aside. Because we're gonna get working on that shrimp, on that chicken. Alright, so we're gonna put this to the side. Alright, so boom, moving into our shrimp and our chicken. I got a little saute pan here I filled up with some canola oil. And I got our grill pan that we're gonna grill both our chicken and our shrimp separately in. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on, get that nice and hot, because what I'm gonna do while that's heating up is get into this sweet plantain. Okay, so while our oil is finishing up heating, we're gonna get into these big ass colossal shrimp. They nice and marinated. They already have oil on it from the marinade in the beginning. We're gonna get into grilling those. Make sure your pan is nice and hot. If not, you ain't gonna get them grill marks. We want them grill marks. We wanna be able to tell that we grilled these shits. Okay, and then remember, the more that you grill, like if you do a second batch after this, the sauces is gonna kind of deter it from getting those marks. You can go ahead and wipe it down in between. Now, these gonna take maybe a minute on one side, a minute on the other. You could test your oil. Take one of the plantains and see, look, it's starting to cook as soon as I put it in. We're gonna get busy with it then. Fill up the pan with those. Now with the sweet plantains, you have the option to season them or not. I like to actually season them just when they come up out the fryer with a little bit of salt. If they was the green plantains, the tall ones, I would make a nice garlic sauce with it, but that's not what we're doing right now. So those gonna cook up, take only a couple seconds. That's only gonna take a couple seconds. We're gonna get to the chicken and we're gonna get to eating. Alright, so told y'all last episode, I promote realism in here. I got all the fancy shit to dry out the plantains when they come out the oil. But this is a black household. In a black household, we try to limit the amount of dishes that we're using. So I got a motherfucking paper plate, paper towels. When these joints come out, we're gonna dry them off on here, sprinkle it with a little bit of that salt, and keep them moving. Alright, like I told you, these things only take a couple seconds on each side. I would say maybe a minute on each side rather, not a couple seconds, because I don't want you thinking, oh shit, she said a couple seconds and now 20 seconds you out here eating raw plantain. That's not gonna happen. But you want them to brown up on each side. Alright? We're gonna check up on our shrimp. Once we see a nice grill mark up on the shrimp, not really there yet. Once you see a nice grill mark up on the shrimp, we'll flip them over. Alright, so our shrimp is starting to come together on one side. You can see them nice grill marks. We'll go ahead and flip them. Have them on here for another minute. Oh my goodness. And getting them grill marks is part of presentation. You want your presentation to be good because people eat with their eyes. You see them grill marks and it's enticing. People want to eat, see more. Plantains looking like they just about done too. See that brown on both sides? I'm going to transfer those over. Get our next batch in. Now these are sweet plantains, so like I told you before, be careful because they're going to be soft. And the softer they are, the more squishy they are, and that's the sugars in the plantain. Be careful when you laying your plantain, put it away from you. If you put your plantain facing, coming towards you, you're gonna pop some grease on your ass, and you're gonna be very the fuck upset. You ain't gonna be hungry no more, because you're gonna be mad. Alright, so we got our shrimp fully done. I'm gonna add a little bit more oil to this pan, and we're gonna throw our chicken in there. Like I said, if you don't eat shrimp, you don't eat chicken, cook in two separate motherfucking pans. You feeding other people, don't use the same pan, but I'm feeding me, so I'm gonna do that. Just go ahead and drop that bitch. Ooh, wee. Then we gonna slice this up after. Oh man. Alright, so checking the back of our chicken. We got some nice grill marks. I'm gonna go ahead and flip that. Now this chicken, like I told you before, is nice and thin. So it should take maybe 2 to 3 minutes on both sides. Right? Make sure your chicken is fully cooked through. Because if not, your ass gonna be sick, out of work, out of commission, all that for at least a week with food poisoning. Make sure that bitch cooked through. Shrimp done, plantains done, pasta and the sauce done. Chicken fresh out the grill pan, looking amazing. Now we're gonna cut up this chicken, slice it nice and neat. A little bit of lime, a little bit of that scallion for garnish. Nice and juicy. Make sure you take that chicken about the pan. You let it rest for a couple minutes though, because if not, it's gonna dry out as you cut it. Okay? Our lime. I'm gonna cut it in wedges. And this is just for garnish, as well as I'm gonna do a nice little drizzle on top. Take one wedge. All you need is 2 for right now. It's scallion, okay? Don't leave the bottom. Take that off for right now. This thin piece, because I'm using this solely for garnish, I'm gonna put to the side. Also, quick note. If you want to roll your own scallions, you can. It's mad simple. Keep the bottoms, put it in a one of these, little bowl, little mason jar, and some water next to the sun, they'll grow. Alright? Anyway, now, because we're using these for garnish, I'm gonna slice these diagonal. I'm gonna hold them down so they kind of flat, right? And I'm gonna cut through, make it a little fancy, you know? Flat to the side. Boom. Now you see that nice shape? Alright, I got me a nice pasta bowl. Look at that. Look how creamy and oh my god. Remember, only Rasta pasta sauce on the market. Reggie's Rasta pasta sauce coming out. See that? All you gotta do is add your peppers, add your pasta, and add your protein. PPP. I'm gonna go ahead with this chicken, make it nice and pretty. Lay it out like that. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead with these shrimp. Now you could obviously, if you only use one protein, go ahead and mix that in with your pasta ahead of time. But I like how that looks, okay? So I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of lime on top. Take that wedge, squeeze that lime. Take them scallions. Come from up top, the higher you go, the more surface you cover. Take the nice scallions like that. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, we can't forget our plantains. So we're gonna lay a couple of those over here. Crazy, crazy. And then you could, a little presentation on it. All right. Take some of that freshly grated Parmesan. Get that shit all up on top of it like that. Alright, y'all, it's a motherfucking wrap. Cooking with Cream, episode 5. The Rasta Pasta, jerk shrimp, jerk chicken, losada plantains. Remember, Reggie's Rasta Pasta sauce is dropping immediately with this episode. It's gonna be a soft opening. I hope to make sure that this is a continued item. There is no Rasta Pasta sauce on the market. This is all homemade, all fresh. Hit me. Alright, let's get into this. I know I say this every episode, but this should be so good, man. Like, it's nice and creamy. The right amount of jerk seasoning so it's not too spicy. Got that nice scallion. I can taste the lime I finish it off with. Then some of the plantain. I'm gonna finish this up. I'm gonna take me a nap. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for fucking with me. We had 1,000 views consistently. I'm trying to get to 10,000. I'm trying to get some sponsors. Let me know if you want to donate some tracks, a wig, some makeup, some ingredients. It's lit. You're amazing. I love you.